What if Pakistan never existed? History is shaped by decisions, moments, and turning points. One of the most important turning points in South Asian history was the creation of Pakistan in 1947. But what if that never happened? What if Pakistan never existed? To understand this, we need to go back in time. Before 1947, the region we now know as Pakistan was part of British India. Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, and others lived across the subcontinent. As British rule came to an end, tensions grew. Religious identity became political identity, and fear spread on all sides. Many Muslims believed they would not be safe or politically represented in a Hindu-majority independent India. This led to the demand for a separate Muslim homeland, Pakistan. But imagine a different outcome. Imagine the British left and the subcontinent remained one single nation. No Pakistan, no partition. What would change? First, let's talk about borders. Without Pakistan, the borders of India would stretch from the Arabian Sea in the west to Bengal in the east. Modern-day Pakistan and Bangladesh would remain part of India. This would create one of the largest and most diverse countries in human history. But diversity alone does not guarantee stability. Religious tensions would still exist. Muslims would form a massive minority population. Political power would be concentrated in Delhi, and many Muslims might feel excluded or marginalized. This could lead to internal conflict, large-scale protests, political instability, and possibly civil war. Partition, as violent as it was partly intended to prevent even greater violence later. Now let's talk about violence and migration. The partition of 1947 caused one of the largest migrations in history. Millions were displaced, and over 1 million people lost their lives. If Pakistan never existed, this sudden mass migration might not have happened. Families would not have been forced to flee overnight. Communities might have remained intact, but tension would not disappear. Instead of short-term violence, there could be decades of internal unrest. Sometimes history chooses immediate pain to avoid long-term chaos. Now let's talk about geopolitics. Without Pakistan, the balance of power in South Asia would be very different. India would control the entire northwest region, including areas close to Central Asia and the Middle East. There would be no India-Pakistan rivalry, no wars between the two nations, no Kashmir conflict in the way we know it today. But that does not mean peace. Kashmir would still be disputed internally. And without Pakistan as a counterbalance, India would face pressure from other global powers. The Cold War would play out differently. Pakistan became a key ally of the United States. India leaned closer to the Soviet Union. Without Pakistan, India might face stronger foreign influence or intervention. Now let's talk about identity. Pakistan was created not just as a country, but as an identity. Language, culture, religion, national pride. Without Pakistan, Muslim identity in South Asia might evolve very differently. Urdu might not become a national language. Islamic institutions might not develop the same way. Political Islam in the region might take a different path. Some Muslims might assimilate. Others might resist. Identity conflicts could intensify over time. Now let's talk about the military and nuclear power. Pakistan later became a nuclear-armed state. This dramatically changed regional security. Without Pakistan, India might remain the only nuclear power in South Asia. This could increase India's influence, but also increase fear among neighboring regions. Nuclear deterrence between India and Pakistan has prevented full-scale war for decades. Without that balance, history might take a more unpredictable path. Now let's talk about Afghanistan and the region. Pakistan plays a major role in Afghan politics, trade, and security. Without Pakistan, Afghanistan's access to the sea would be limited. Regional trade routes would change completely. Central Asia's connection to South Asia would look very different. The entire region's political map would shift. Now let's talk about economy. A united subcontinent could be an economic giant. Shared resources, unified markets, massive population. But economic inequality could also deepen. Regions like Punjab, Sindh, and Bengal might feel exploited by central power. Economic imbalance often leads to political unrest. Now, here's the most important question. Would fewer people suffer if Pakistan never existed? Or would suffering simply take a different form? History rarely offers perfect outcomes. So, what if Pakistan never existed? South Asia might look more unified on a map. But unity does not always mean harmony. The world today would be very different. Borders, alliances, conflicts, identities. History is shaped by imperfect choices made under pressure,